Roll VTR, 60 seconds live.
Stand by. Loading 1, 2, and effects 2. No, we're live at 60.
Out to the right. Rudy flush. Throws it down.
Fielded by Lorenzo Neal at the 25. Uses it back to Wildcat.
30 seconds left.
Across the field to Dyson. He's got something. He's got something. He's got it. He's got it. He's got it. End zone. Touchdown. Tyson. There are no flags on the field. There's a long
In 3, 2.
What's your name, boy?
Hello everyone, this is Sean Harris, host of the Scoop Talk Show. You can join me each and every week, Monday through Friday, on the Scoop Talk Show podcast, on YouTube, my show's Facebook page, the Scoop Talk Show, Facebook.com/the Scoop Talk Show, as well as Twitter and Google+. Be sure to catch it. Well, week 1 is out of the way. The 2 remaining games that was on national TV on ESPN is over. So now we can consider the NFL Week 1 in the books. We start out with Pittsburgh and Washington. Pittsburgh winning that convincingly over Washington 38-16. Washington just really didn't have an answer for Big Ben and the rest of the gang of Pittsburgh, who just totally took over the game. Washington went up 6-0 in the first on 2 field goals. Pittsburgh come right back with 2 touchdowns. Then they score again with the ball, going 10-3 in the third. And then they outlasted them by a touchdown, 14-7. And the end result score is just what I said. What killed Washington was third downs efficiencies. They only converted 3 out of 10 on third downs. They was pummeled in the rushing yard department. Outscored 147-55. They was sacked 1 time. The quarterback, Kirk Cousins, was sacked 1 time. Now, mind you, Kirk Cousins was the starter when RG3 went down last year in Washington. That spelled his demise, and now he in Cleveland. Kirk Cousins is now the starter in Washington. And he was smothered by the Pittsburgh defense, led by James Harrison. Big Ben, he was just outstanding in this game. Him and Antonio Brown hooked up majorly twice, and they just went on a route, Washington. Big Ben numbers, 27 out of 37 for 300 yards, 3 TDs, 1 pick, and 1 sack. Pretty much the only bright spot of Washington's defense was when they sacked him. D'Angelo Williams, he was 126 rushes, 143 in yards, and scored 2 TDs. And what can you say about Antonio Brown? 8 receptions, 126 yards, and 2 TDs. Eli Rogers, 6 receptions, 59 yards, and he had a touchdown. That's how much of Pittsburgh offense that they was able to muster up to easily get this victory. Now, just like Stephen A. is getting on his podcast and he's talking about my Dallas Cowboys with their opening loss to the Giants. Aww. But it wasn't no blowout like this. They lost by 1 point, and they lost on a major mistake by a rookie wide receiver. A rookie wide receiver that when he caught the football, he should have just caught it and went out of bounds, but he stayed in bounds. It was a mistake on his part. And it cost the Cowboys the opportunity to kick the game-winning field goal to win the football game. And they only lost by 1, 20-19 over New York. But like I said then explained to him when I sent him a message in regards to it's only week 1.
Say what?
You got Romo injured. Don't know when he returned if he's physically able, because after all, everybody got to know he's 36 years old. He's physically able to finish out the rest of the season, or will the rookie Dak Prescott, who finally gets his calling, be the man and the new face of the organization? Because everybody's talking about if he does well, Romo is out. I don't necessarily believe that, like I said before when I stated in my last show, because Jerry Jones has always had strong faith in Romo. That's why they never really went out in the draft and went out in the free agent market to really draft a big name quarterback, because he has faith in Romo since day one.
Say what?
But with injuries after injuries after injuries with Romo, you got to go somewhere. You got to look to the future. Could Dak Prescott be that guy for the future of the Cowboys? We'll just have to wait and see. Because after all, it's only week one. That's what I told Stephen A. After all, it's only week one. We'll see maybe week 5, maybe week 6, see where Dallas is at, close to Romo returning. That's unless, of course, the Cowboys have a defense that can really hold the fort down. Ezekiel Elliott, yeah, he has to do a better job on his position with the football. But I'm quite sure he will get that. He's a rookie after all. NFC East is very wide open, always been wide open. Not as dominant like it used to be, but I'm predicting the 2 teams right now that could be battling for the NFC crown would be the Dallas Cowboys and the Philadelphia Eagles. Wentz looked good over there in week 1. Team showed a lot of poise. So it's going to be interesting to see down the road where these 2 teams end up. Now for Washington, speaking about the NFC East, Kirk Cousins, he was 30 out of 43 for 329 yards. Not bad. Threw a lot of yards. But he also been picked off twice. He found one of his guys, Chris Thompson, in the end zone with the rushing game. Thompson had 4 rushes, 23 yards, and he scored a TD. Deshaun Jackson, he led the way in receiving with 6 receptions, 102 yards, but was never able to get into the end zone. With Washington losing on Monday night like this, can they find a way to get back into the mold, get back into the fold of winning a little bit? We'll just have to see what week 2 has in store for them, because after all, it's going to be a big game because Dallas is their opponent that they're going to be facing. And then we're going to really see which one of these 2 teams can bounce back from an 0-1 loss. Because you got the Giants winning and you got the Eagles winning. So those 2 teams right now is at the top. Washington and Dallas is at the bottom. Get in the picture, people. Get in the picture. Anything can happen in NFC East. Now for the final game of the night. Los Angeles Rams made the announcement that they was coming back. They come back. They facing a NFC West opponent in the San Francisco 49ers. The controversy there with Colin Kaepernick and his refusal to honor the flag and the national anthem took the whole world by storm, took the whole NFL by storm. Matter of fact, took the whole sports world by storm. But I'm not going to get into all of that because it's been going on too long, and everybody out there, I'm quite sure y'all know everything about it. So no need for me to talk about it. I want to talk about the game. The Rams stunk. Okay, let's put it out there. They stunk. They was blown out by the San Francisco 49ers 28-0.
Say what?
They couldn't do anything. They sucked on third down efficiency. They was outrushed by 85 yards. They was nearly doubled up in total yards throughout the whole game. Casey Keenum got sacked twice. It was just crazy that they was embarrassed like this. At least my Cowboys only lost by 1 point. But Stephen A., like I said, want to make it an issue. Not saying it's personal, but want to make it an issue. And he just clearly state that he really don't like the Dallas Cowboys at all. But that's okay. That's cool. I'm straight with that. But the Los Angeles Rams cannot open the season up coming back home after being in St. Louis and winning a Super Bowl out there to do something like this. San Francisco's opened up their new stadium, Levi Stadium in Santa Clara. I'm quite sure it was sold out. A lot of hype in the air. Anticipation for this game for the fans and the players. And in front of 70,178 people at Levi Stadium, they embarrassed the Los Angeles Rams 28-0. Embarrassed them. Casey Keenum was 17 out of 35 for 130 yards, 2 picks, and he was sacked twice. Ty Gurley, he rushed the ball 17 times and got 47 yards. The only person that was second on that list of rushing, Casey Keenum, the quarterback. 3 rushes for 10 yards. Kenny Britt for the Rams, he had 4 receptions for 67 yards. And I thought for sure that Tavon Austin, former Cowboy, major contributor to the Cowboys when he was there, they was going to go to him a lot more. But no, he only ended up with 4 receptions for 13 yards. That is not going to get it done. Absolutely not going to get it done. Well, for the Los Angeles Rams, opening day jitters is all over. All over. Now Jeff Fisher can settle them down and get them to play football. They got it all out of their system now. And we'll see how far they can go throughout the season in the NFC West from this point on. Because the Rams, I believe, is a better team than what they showed last night. Jeff Fisher has to make them believe that. He has to make them believe it because he's dealing with a lot of new players. He's dealing with a lot of new situations there now that they moved to Los Angeles. The changes have been made with the organization. I'm quite sure y'all saw Hard Knocks on HBO, profiling the Los Angeles Rams and what they've been going through. Oh, yeah, that's real. That's real. What they go through, yeah, that's the real deal. But quite sure that the Rams will be able to turn it around and get it done. Quite sure that they will. Robert Griffin III, RG3. When is this kid going to learn how to slide? I know he want to show out there and do what he can do and still can be the guy that the Washington Redskins drafted him at Baylor as the #1 pick for them. But he's at the point to where he has to learn that if he wants to stay in this league and not be really labeled the NFL not for long league, then he has to do a better job. This is the reason why Washington let him go in the first place. It's not because he can't play. He can play the game. But the amount of money that they paying him to play is a big risk. Now, once again, he's on the IR after the first game in a Browns uniform. His brand new team. Already hurt. He got hurt scrambling, trying to run to the sideline. And instead of him just sliding, he literally got tackled out and injured his non-throwing shoulder. And for what is expected, he has at least missed 8 games. So he won't be back until week 9. In the meantime, Josh McCown has now been promoted to the starting quarterback. Griffin has to understand that it's the little things you do in the game that is impactful, not so much as the big things. You're not in college, man. You're taking on grown men, and I'm quite sure you know that because you've been in the league long enough to know that. This is not college. These guys are much bigger, much faster, and much stronger. And when you doing things like trying to scramble out of the pocket or get out of the tackle box, you are now vulnerable. And just pray to God that the NFL ruling is going to work in your favor in case they do tackle you in a manner that they shouldn't have. So now he's out for a minimum of 8 games. Is it a devastating blow to Cleveland? Nah. It's not a devastating blow to Cleveland. Cleveland still got a long way to go as a football team. They just got back a few years ago. He's only there because he didn't want to be in Washington no more, and Washington didn't want him to be there no more. Cleveland was the only team that was willing to take him and to pay him the amount of money that he was looking for, that he feels that he's still worth. But you get hurt on game 1 to start the season? I don't know. Cleveland may be taking a second guess about, was this really the right move that we should have done? Or they could be saying to themselves, well, you know what? It's just a minor setback. We still got Josh McCown. But Josh McCown only won 2 football games as a starter. Can you really rely upon him? Cleveland does not have any other option. They have no choice unless they can go out into the free agent market and sign a big-name quarterback. Or a big-name quarterback that's having to be sitting at home waiting to get a call from his agent to say, hey, look, they want you to come and work out for them. Other than that, McCown is all they got. So good luck to y'all out there in Cleveland. But the Cavaliers did win the NBA title. So at least you got that to look forward to. Now the 54 years is cursed off of that. Here's your week 2 lineup in the NFL. We got a Thursday night game coming up where the New York Jets travel to Buffalo. Dallas is at Washington, the game that I was just talking about earlier. Baltimore is at Cleveland. Tennessee comes to Detroit to play the Lions. Kansas City is at Houston. Miami is at New England. New Orleans travels to the Giants in New York. Cincinnati is at Pittsburgh. San Francisco is at Carolina, which is going to make an interesting matchup. Tampa Bay is at Arizona. Seattle gets to face the Los Angeles Rams at home for the Rams' first home game. Indianapolis is at Denver. I know Peyton Manning would love to be playing right now, but he's retired. Atlanta's at Oakland. Jacksonville is in San Diego. Green Bay is at Minnesota for the nightcap at 8:30. And the Monday night special, Philadelphia at Chicago. Who's my sleeper? I really don't know. I'm looking at these games and I'm seeing what's going on with that. I'm kind of leaning towards, man, this is tough. Real tough. There's some good matchups, y'all. I'm telling you, some good matchups. I would say my sleeper will be the Kansas City-Houston game. Houston won in week 1. Kansas City won in overtime in week 1. And that's a 1 o'clock game. So we want to see what Alex Smith has to produce against the Houston Texans. And we want to see what Brock Osweiler has against the Kansas City Chiefs. That is my sleeper team, or sleeper game, I should say, for the NFL contest. Kansas City at Houston. You got the AFC West versus the AFC South. That should be a good, interesting matchup. Well, that is all that I have. Thank you so much for tuning in. Like I said, once again, you can check out The Scoop Talk Show on Facebook.com/The Scoop Talk Show. You can check me out on Google+, as well as you can check me out on Twitter. And you can find me and my articles on blogspot.com. For the Scoop Podcast Show, I'm Sean Harris. Take care.